Hi, welcome to Be Your Vision Now, which is the next step in designing the life of your best self. So the purpose of future goals we're going to talk about as part of this first piece of Being Your Vision Now. Okay, so the purpose of future goals. In the last exercise, we developed some future goals. We looked at how you want to feel and activated into the world what those feelings would look like one day today, 1 year, and 5 years into the future. And so I want to have a further deeper conversation now about the purpose of these future goals, especially as we talk about being your vision. Okay, so goals are examples of what your vision is, right? It's helping you see into the world outside of your own personal inner world, into the physical universe that you live in. You're seeing your desires out into the world. So oftentimes goals are seen as the mecca, the place, the place where celebration happens, the moment where fiesta can occur, the place to go, right? That's what we're trying to attain. But instead, what I invite you to see is that goals are meant to inform us of who we are meant to be, what we are meant to do, and how we are meant to feel right now. Okay, so you might have a goal to save $10,000. Let's say that's a goal. And so that is intended to help you say, okay, what would that make me feel? I would feel safe. I would feel secure. I'd feel empowered. And so I want that in the future. But what the purpose of that goal is to inform you of what to do right now. So today, you're meant to do things to help move you towards that goal, yes, and more importantly, to feel safe and empowered and secure. So if you see yourself feeling safe and free with brimming savings of $1 million, that goal is informing you of what you need to do right now. Perhaps you need to be responsible. It's calling you to be responsible and choose to deposit $5 you might have spent in Starbucks into your investment account. Another example would be if you see yourself feeling successful, accepted, and created with a New York Times best-selling book. Let's say that's a goal. Then maybe the goal is informing you to just slow down right now and write, to observe and celebrate right now. So that's what it's meant to do, is to help you see, okay, I think it's out there, I want something. In the future, I can have this big, wonderful thing. It's actually meant to create that big, wonderful experience today. So if you feel yourself feeling sexy and sensuous and beautiful 20 pounds from now, it's supposed to be telling you, girl, it's time to be sexy now. So what could you do today to be and feel just as sexy as you would feel 20 pounds later? Maybe you need to read yourself some love poetry, or you need to prepare yourself a delicious, healthy meal, or maybe you need to take a hot soak in a beautiful bath, or have a totally romantic entanglement with yourself or with someone else, right? So this is what your future goals are supposed to do. They're supposed to bring to mind something bigger and greater that you think you can't have today by thinking in the future. But it's supposed to inform you of exactly what you're supposed to do right now. The experience that you're longing to feel inside that $1 million. What would you need to do to feel $1 million richer today? What would you need to do to feel like, boy, I created a book and it was on the New York Times bestseller. Wow, what would I have to do today to feel that actualized, that successful, that creative? Okay, it's supposed to inform you of what you're to do today. Got it? So be your vision now. We've been trapped inside the illusion that the goal is the doorway to the feeling and being what we desire, when in fact it's not. It's just a clue. It's a great big breadcrumb that's supposed to say, be that right now. Be it today. So the doorway is the present moment. It's right now. It's supposed to be instructing you of who you want to be, the actions you would take right now, and which feelings are required to cultivate you into feeling their best so that you will do the things that will point you in the direction of your highest self. So who do you want to be? First question. Ask yourself daily, who do I want to be? Perhaps you want to feel that you are a healthy person, an empowered person, a powerful person, a remarkable person, a responsible person, a successful person. What do you want to be? Simply make it your intention to be that person right now, today. Infuse your every action with that. So in the way that you tie your shoes, in the way that you comb your hair, in the way that you do the dishes, in the way that you deliver care to your patients, in the way that you speak to your children, in the way that you interact with your spouse or significant other, in the way you balance your checkbook. Imagine that. Imagine if one of the things you want to feel is radiant and beautiful. Imagine how different balancing your checkbook would be if you decided to be radiant and beautiful while you balanced your checkbook. You might need to put on your stilettos before you balance your checkbook. It's informing you of what you want to be today. Next, take a wise action daily. And what does that mean? I mean, I highly recommend taking more than one wise action, but actually one pure wise action a day will change your life. I can tell you, because I've done it my whole life. I've been working on this. So many years ago, I went through a process where I realized I was constantly feeling I wasn't enough. And so I decided I would start listening to something else inside myself. And that is my higher self, my best self. And I started having daily connections with my best self and asking my best self for guidance and giving me instruction for telling me what I'm doing that's misaligned with my guidance, and then asking for something specific I should do today, one wise action that would allow me to manifest their wisdom. So we're going to do this exercise in a few minutes and help you get there. But basically, you're taking the time to imagine that you have a best self and that you can call on that best self anytime you want. And you can have a conversation with them. And you just pretend. Pretending works. That's the most amazing part of this whole wisdom thing, is your higher self, your best self will show up if you pretend. And if you say, what's the wisdom you have for me today, gal? What's the wisdom you have for me today, hero? What's the wisdom you have? And you pick up a pen and you start to journal and you write down whatever shows up, or you close your eyes and you listen from within and you start to hear bubbling up of little words coming out. Tend to your garden, it might say. Make time for your light, it might say. It might say something really specific like the relationship you're having with your child needs healing. It will come, and the more you do it, the more you will hear it, and the more you will be amazed. And then the next question of what's getting in the way, this is a big one. This question of what's getting in the way, what's holding me back from that wisdom. So let's say today I hear the guidance of make room today for your light. Let's say that's what shows up. And then the question of what's getting in the way is, what's getting in the way is the thought that there's not enough time for my light. Right? The thought that I don't deserve it. The thought that I will do it later. Or the behavior of being too busy, or the behavior of worrying. So those things could be on the list of what's keeping me, because that is important, because most of our lives is filled with stuff that keeps you from being wise, that keeps you from the action of your higher self. So you have to clear away the space, and that's why that second question of what's getting in the way of you receiving your wisdom is so important. And then lastly, you ask, what is an action I can take today to make manifest of that wisdom? What can I do today to make room for my inner light? And it might just simply be light a candle, spend 5 minutes in silence and light a candle and just feel love in your heart. Connect to your light. It could be that simple. Okay? It could be something else too. It could be that there's a specific action that will allow you to feel like your light is turned on. It could be a very specific, go write a chapter, go write a blog. It could be make a scarf for your friend. It could be anything. But Be willing to hear the action and be willing to take the action. If the action's not specific, it's not clear enough for you, ask, it's not clear. Can you make it more specific so I know when I've started it, when I've done it, and when it's over, so I can feel complete? And then the third piece here is to cultivate your desired feelings, okay? Back to those feelings. Feelings are what you experience, whether you're aware of it or not. You might be feeling numb all the time, and that's okay, but that's your experience. It's not the world out there you experience, it's the world inside. So we buy an illusion, we have no control over our feelings. We allow ourselves to indulge into the notion that we are the whims of the world around us. We have no control, things are happening, and what happens out in the world is causing us to feel how we feel. Whenever somebody says, you made me feel, or Johnny made me feel hurt, my mom hurt my feelings. No, that's not true. They did something, you processed it in your brain, and you chose to take on a feeling. And that's what happened. So actually, nobody made you feel anything. You interpreted the situation, you encountered choice in how you want to feel, and you chose to feel a certain way. Nobody made you feel anything. The idea that what happens out there causes how you feel. The illusion is that we believe that our feelings are a product of what happens to us. When in fact, none of this is true. We have the power to create our own inner world. We just have to learn how to do it. We have to learn how to create and cultivate what we long to feel. So to be your vision now requires you to bust yourself, to surrender the idea that you are a victim of your emotions, because you're not. If you're feeling overwhelmed all the time and you want to stop, use this example to help you say, okay, overwhelm is something I'm always feeling. I need to learn what behaviors are causing me to feel that overwhelm. What are the thoughts? I need to give those up. Instead of overwhelm, how do I want to feel? I want to feel calm and serene. What are the behaviors and activities and thoughts that align with that? I need to implant those, transplant those experiences into my life so I can have those feelings. So when you are being your vision now, you set your own course in life and take back the power that you think you've lost to your inner emotional world. Because inside, you actually have a lot of power. But if you're asleep at the wheel and somebody else is driving the bus, you might feel like you don't have any power. But you do. You just have to get back in the driver's seat. You have the keys to invoke whatever feeling you want at any moment. And the more masterful you become with this, the more you'll realize this is true. You won't be able to do it all the time. Nobody's perfect. Maybe the Dalai Lama, not me. But I can tell you it's something I work towards, and I can tell you my life is much better for it. So you want to have that daily connection with your best self. You want to set an intention of what you want to be, responsible, holy, wise, whatever it is you want to be. Take an action your best self longs for you to take by asking your higher self for guidance, and then cultivate the feelings you want to feel. Go into those feelings and create them, and choose not to feel the ones that you don't want to feel. Okay, so let's go ahead and just take a moment right now and imagine that you can call in your best self and have your best self come and sit right next to you. Sometimes I imagine that she's got her arm around my shoulder or she's whispering in my ear. Sometimes I see her right in front of me and I can connect with her eyes and the color of her hair and her face. And I see her whole body, and she wears different outfits, different days. Sometimes she looks like me, sometimes she doesn't. So just take a moment to let your best self come into your presence. Sometimes I imagine it's my soul, like a big orb of white, big glowing white light that's expansive. And with your pen on a paper, without thinking, or trying, or judging, just simply letting your pen work, ask yourself this question. Ask your higher self this question. What is the wisdom or message you have for me right now? What is the wisdom your best self has for you right now. Write it down. Breathe deeply and just write it down. Press pause if you need more time. Let yourself receive the wisdom you just received. Let it land over you like a gentle blanket. And now just ask your best self, put your pen in your paper, and just ask yourself, what would stop me from receiving this wisdom? What's getting in the way of you living the wisdom your best self just shared? What habits, what disempowering thoughts, what behaviors, what excuses, what complaints, what would keep you from that? So write down whatever's there. Press pause if you need more time. And now ask your best self, what is a specific action I can take today to manifest this wisdom? What's an action they want you to take today? What do they want you to do? What do they want you to do? Some simple, tangible action that you can take today within reason. It's too big, negotiate it with them. Say, no, too big. Something small, more realistic. Is there a phone call you need to make? Is there an email you need to write? Is there a picture that you want to draw? Is there a gift that you would like to give to yourself? Is there some form of self-care that they're instructing you to do? Write down whatever it is. Now just take a moment to acknowledge yourself, listening for within. Let yourself really breathe in and know that you are reworking the inner world. You are mastering your inner world by taking this action, this exercise, and just ask yourself, what is it that you want to feel today? And let yourself choose one of your unmet desired feelings and see how you could implant that experience into your day today. Okay, that's it. Thank you. See you in the next one. Go make the world a better place.